be a part of the story on how we are working every day to make Franklin County a community where equity is the norm, not the exception, where all individuals, regardless of their racial or ethnic backgrounds, have equal opportunities and are treated with fairness, justice, and respect. The 2025 recommended budget aligns with our strategic direction by investing in those areas that will allow us to advance toward our goal for this core principle. As seen in the presentations to follow, you will see how this budget embraces these values. You will hear presentations on proactivity in our DEI initiatives from the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, responsibility through our vendor outreach from the purchasing department, and inclusion related to our equitable recruitment efforts from the Department of Human Resources.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and County Administration. Damika Withers, Chief Economic Equity and Inclusion Officer in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. In ODEI, our key driver has been to proactively advance racial equity. We seek to embed equity principles within the organizational DNA of all Board of Commissioner agencies by way of policies approved by the Board of Commissioners and ongoing practices within each agency. This goal has been carried out in several ways. We have been working with our internal agencies to further embed equity within our practices, policies, and programs. A part of that effort has been working with the county agencies to develop their agency equity plans. In 2024, 100% of our Board of Commissioner agencies completed their agency equity plans. Some of the common themes in the plans included health and wellness of staff, recruitment and retention, technical training, addressing operational changes to reduce disparities, and access to resources and staff. In 2025, we will host monthly meetings for county agencies to attend to discuss progress of their agency equity plans. We will continue to partner with our Human Resources Department and find a workforce community partner for County Futures to assist in expanding our staff to represent the community we serve. We will also work with county partners to host a county-wide hiring event. We will continue with increasing our reach to Franklin County's New American community and working with Welcome Cities and Ohio History Connection to implement the emerging New American Community Team, or better known as ENACT. Central Ohio is home to more than 130,000 foreign-born residents, which is about a quarter of Ohio's foreign-born population. The program's goals include increasing participant sense of belonging, fostering cultural exchange and awareness, advancing best practices for community engagement and outreach, and increasing participants' understanding of civic processes. ENACT will serve as a coordinated leadership development experience for residents from all across Central Ohio's international communities. ENACT seeks to directly incorporate Franklin County's public service and leadership infrastructure as systematic resources and development pathways for our immigrant and refugee community leaders. We continue to engage Board of Commissioner staff in the Racial Equity Council. Now, on its fourth cohort, council members were able to participate in training that will be offered to Board of Commissioner employees next year and give feedback on what trainings they would like to see. They assisted in the development of the content of our DEI newsletter. They have spearheaded the push for many ODEI initiatives, trainings, webinars within their agencies, have attended the civil rights tours, as well as volunteered in several community events we have supported, such as the Pride March and Festival, the second annual DEI conference, the Soul Talks, and are about to embark in 2 different community service projects supporting efforts from county agencies and community partners alike to provide a myriad of service to our residents. Looking more towards ways to create a culture of inclusivity, in 2025, we are excited to launch employee resource groups. Here at Franklin County Board of Commissioners, we are committed to supporting employees' participation in this employee resource groups, which will provide valuable learning and development opportunities, promote an inclusive work environment, and contribute to employees' personal and professional growth. Employees will have the opportunity to connect and share distinct lived experiences while making meaningful contributions to the success of Franklin County and the well-being of the community. Since May 2024, we have offered mandatory training curriculum that includes implicit bias, cultural fluencies, and pronouns in inclusive language. The training provides necessary education to promote inclusive and safe work environments and assists in delivering high quality and efficient services to our diverse Franklin County residents. With this focus on personal and professional learning and development, this year we launched 2 new civil rights tours, one to the South to Mississippi and Tennessee, to explore how music inspired, mobilized, and gave voice to the civil rights movement, and one to New York to learn about the hidden and often erased history of the LGBTQ collective and how their work made way for many of the rights they enjoy today. These immersive experiences are designed to not only educate civil rights, but also to cultivate leadership skills through meaningful action and reflection. The impact of the tours has been life-changing for our staff to implement in their work in service to our Franklin County residents. Data was collected pre-trip to post-trip response trends of the LGBTQ History Tour of 2024. Across all questions of knowledge, awareness, and advocacy, the post-trip responses show a consistent shift with a significant percentage of respondents moving up from agree or neutral to strongly agree. We have continued to offer education awareness through our twice per month Lunch and Learn and topics that include Suicide Awareness Month, Black Business Month, African American Music Appreciation, Second Chance Month, Refugee Week, Older Americans, and highlighting differences, impact, and continued awareness that needs to occur. There have been 9,433 total views in 2024. That is an increase of 558% from last year. We also hosted our second annual DEI conference in partnership with Welcome Cities and US Together. There were 239 attendees on the first day and close to 200 on the second. There were 30 community partner vendors and 77 organizations represented. We continue to promote racial equity in all areas of government. In collaboration with residents, community partners, and institutions, we were able to serve 63 community nonprofits whose goals and initiatives align with the Board of Commissioners to promote education, inclusivity, and belonging. Funding expands across various areas that are historically underrepresented, impacting youth, minority health, mental wellness, violence, arts, and sports. This included serving youth in various ways through aerospace, medical, and tech education. We highlighted Franklin County's Latino community, one of our largest growing communities in Central Ohio, through celebrating culture and partnering with Embassy 4 during Hispanic Heritage Month. In addition, we promoted inclusion, expanded perspective, and provided equitable experiences through our support and work with the Asian American Commerce Group and the Asian Festival, the Ghana Fest, and Stonewall Columbus Pride 365. With your continued support, we are looking forward to increasing our reach in 2025 and having a greater impact in our community. This work will involve strengthening ODEI's already productive partnership with the purchasing department, which will focus on targeted outreach as it relates to goods and services needed by county agencies in order to increase the utilization of small and emerging businesses.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, County Administration, and guests. My name is Megan Perry-Balanier. I serve as Director of Purchasing for Franklin County. I'm pleased to share with you the efforts that the purchasing team has undertaken this past year in support of our core principle of racial equity. Purchasing's work is not only guided by statutory authority, it's shaped by our values, which inform policy and actions. What distinguishes your purchasing policy commissioners from those of other local jurisdictions is how deeply it's infused with the county's commitment to inclusive opportunity, supplier diversity, and economic mobility. Our goals and intentions are straightforward. The purchasing team understands our responsibility in creating and safeguarding an equitable economic environment in which our local, small, and minority-owned businesses across Franklin County have a chance to thrive. To support this, we've attended over a dozen vendor outreach events this year with our partners in the Franklin County Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The purchasing and ODEI teams collaborate on creative vendor outreach events where we can meet and shake hands with our local vendors and learn about their business offerings. Being out in the community, listening to vendors' needs, concerns, and feedback helps us evaluate our efforts in pursuit of greater economic equity. For example, we've met vendors through coffee and conversation meetings, MBE procurement fairs, Ohio Minority Business Panelist events, and the annual ODEI conference. Our team works to ensure that our local vendors get registered with the county and learn how to navigate partnership pathways through bid and non-bid opportunities. You will hear more later today from DEI on these efforts during the discussion of job creation, strategic economic development, and fiscal security. Our office has taken intentional steps to ensure that our competitive bid opportunities are within reach of all vendors. We consistently review scopes of work and contract requirements through a lens of equity to ensure they do not contain unnecessary barriers for our local minority-owned vendors. We've expanded our advertising beyond county and state websites, and we continue to identify and partner with minority-owned media outlets to ensure these opportunities are easily accessible to vendors in underserved areas. In 2024, through successful collaboration with agency partners, the county has expanded the number of contracts awarded in various sectors. Awards for moving and cleaning services have increased by 275%, pest control by 133%, minor home repair services by 138%, and many of these were going to local and minority-owned vendors. Through November 8th of this year, small and emerging businesses have received over $47 million by providing goods and services to various agencies. That's an increase of 45% from last year. While we're proud of this achievement, we know we can do more, and we look forward to enhancing our outreach and engagement in the community. Before turning the presentation over to Human Resources, I'd like to end by thanking my procurement team, led by Tracy Matthew, Assistant Director, and Amy Wendling, Purchasing Supervisor, for their incredibly dedicated work. I'd like to thank Chief Withers and her team. I'm so grateful that we're able to partner with such a strong and committed Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at Franklin County. And I particularly want to thank you, Commissioners and County Administration, for the examples that you set and for your investment in our shared success moving into 2025.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and County Administration. I'm Laura Rapaski, Director of Human Resources. Our agency is committed to ensuring that our employees reflect the community that we serve. While our current workforce reflects a high level of diversity, that diversity is not yet consistent across job levels and agencies or inclusive of the wide variety of diversity dimensions present in our community. To ensure this commitment, we continue to update our recruitment, hiring, onboarding, and promotion practices, review and revise employment policies and programs to address the needs of a modern workforce and our commitment to racial equity, provide opportunities for access to culturally competent healthcare at affordable price points, create and maintain positive organizational cultures, and offer ongoing professional development and career advancement opportunities. Today, we focus on our 2024 efforts to expand and modernize our equitable recruitment efforts. Here to talk more about these efforts are our recruiters, Talisa Harrison and Elaine Bridges.
Our efforts resulted in our hiring 303 new employees across all agencies. Through preliminary data tracking and analysis with ODEI, we identified that our workforce includes employees from every zip code in the county. We achieved these results by expanding our recruiting partners to include iHeartMedia, local YMCAs, the Columbus Urban League, the Hispanic Chamber of Columbus, Senior Partners of Whitehall, and many more. We were present at numerous events across the county, including Coffee with Crawley, Coffee Careers and More with County Administrator Wilson, Expungement Day, Columbus Asian Festival, Columbus African Festival, and Stonewall Columbus, to name a few. We remain committed to our second chance employment efforts by working with the Ohio Reformatory for Women, Archery Entry, and our own Justice Policy and Programs team. Meeting with prospective applicants at community events allows us to see firsthand how our inclusive practices lift up our neighbors by providing them not only with employment opportunities, but also resources they may not have known are available to them. We benefit by learning, and understanding how an applicant's work and life experiences can equate to skills necessary to qualify for our employment opportunities. As a result, our candidate pool has expanded significantly, which translates to a talented workforce more reflective of the community we serve. Our recruitment is not without challenges. The local labor market remains highly competitive. As we hire new neighbors, particularly in entry-level positions, they experience familiar challenges and barriers to sustained employment. Transportation barriers may make it difficult to get to and from work at times that align with our work schedules. Caregiving responsibilities may pose challenges to employees entering or remaining in the workforce, and concerns around benefits cliff implications may discourage pursuit of opportunities. These are challenges we will continue to address in 2025. Next year, we plan to expand our recruiting efforts to veterans, strengthen our social media presence, and bridge the language barrier gap to tap into the skills and talents of our new American neighbors. We are also working to redesign our job postings to highlight why it is so great to work for Franklin County.
Elaine, you're muted. Elaine, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Your Rise Together Property Blueprint recognizes the crucial need for access to living wage employment for all residents. As a large employer, we set an example and take action that must be modeled to make this goal a reality. This includes ongoing adjustment of pay scales to reflect a living wage for employees in entry-level positions and competitive wages throughout the pay scale. In 2024, in cooperation with our union partners, we yet again implemented a new pay scale to increase our minimum wage to $18.50. But competitive wages are just the beginning of what employers must do to support a diverse workforce and create equitable and inclusive work environments. For example, again, in collaboration with our union partners on the Joint Benefits Committee, we continue to innovate the comprehensive benefits we offer to support a diverse population. In 2024, we eliminated copays on more preventative services and common medications, increased wellness incentives like gym reimbursement, added free financial coaching services, promoted accessibility through additional and on-site and virtual offerings, expanded our family forming benefits to include reimbursement for doula services, offered voluntary legal coverage, and prioritized low and no-cost mental and behavioral health services that were recognized by the Carolyn C. Madeline Award for Mental Health in the Workplace. Beyond our extensive benefit offerings, we issued a new employee handbook containing policies designed to address challenges identified by employees. For example, we recognize that new employees may experience health issues or caregiving responsibilities in their first months of employment, so we provided a bank of personal leave hours upon hire and earlier access to paid vacation leave. We also recognize that situations could arise for new employees, including the birth or the adoption of a child or the death of a loved one, that could benefit from access to our leave donation program, and updated that program to include situations not previously covered. But we know that recruitment also naturally extends into retention of our workforce. In 2024, 98 existing employees were promoted within our agency, and we continue to offer a variety of professional development opportunities to help employees advance their careers with us. For example, we expanded our tuition reimbursement program and now cover certificate programs. We entered a preferred partner agreement with Franklin University to provide access to discounted tuition for degree programs. Other opportunities included a variety of training, coaching, and leadership development offerings, including a return of our Professional Growth Day.
We understand that we have work ahead of us. In 2025, we'll work to ensure that all employees feel welcomed, valued, and heard once they are hired, which will be accomplished with a robust onboarding program, sharing our performance expectations, and providing more on-the-job training. We will promote continuing professional development opportunities, and we will create more career ladders so employees can grow within the county. Our supervisors will have access to a supervisor boot camp and ongoing supports. Our work in 2025 will result in growing a qualified, diverse, and inclusive workforce at all levels. We thank you for the opportunity to discuss these initiatives and appreciate the support you've given us to create and sustain a workforce that reflects the community we serve.
As emphasized by Chief Withers, racial equity and DEI is part of our DNA here at Franklin County. As the lead agency providing direct investments, the 2025 recommended budget for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is $14 million, more than double the budget that was approved last December. Almost all of this increase is within grants, which comprises 85% of the budget that is related to grants. This includes $2 million for an Every Resident, Every Day grant program that will be available to all Franklin County municipalities to have access to funding to amplify diverse communities, celebrate differences, bring awareness through community engagement, and address inequalities. Where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, pass it on. This is true today, just as it was in 1978 when Thurgood Marshall spoke these words at his commencement speech at the University of Virginia. The Franklin County Board of Commissioners have embraced this message with its long-standing record of promoting racial equity, inclusion, and diversity in all aspects of county government. This commitment has been amplified through the development and execution of the Rise Together Blueprint to Reduce Poverty and its declaration that racism as a public health crisis. The 2025 recommended budget continues this work, seeking to disrupt poverty, collaborating to increase the value of services provided to the community, sustaining an organizational culture that applies equity principles, increasing opportunities to minority businesses. We will continue to be guided by our core principles, showing initiative to enact changes we need, taking ownership of how we operate, and ensuring our diverse population has representation and support. This concludes today's presentation on racial equity, and we will be glad to answer any questions from the Board of Commissioners. Mr. Telerik, we've had a call for questions. Do we have any public requests for testimony that has come forward?
Not that I'm aware of, but if the clerk would confirm that.
Director, I see and hear no call for questions or comments.
All right.
Thank you very much from the clerk's office.
Right. And if there are no other comments or questions, then that will conclude today's presentation on the core principle of racial equity. We will next hear the presentation on the core principle of good stewardship, environmental sustainability, and civic engagement. So we will need to take a couple of minutes to get everything set up. So we'll be back at 2:05 to start. Thank you.